you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So as you know, this past week the past 11 classes, we've been talking about bullying and all of the characteristics of bullying, such as what bystander is, ways to address bullying, how to stand up for bullying. So we're going to continue on with our unit, and today we're going to talk about the forms of either aggressive, passive, or assertive behavior.
Okay.
This is important for you because learning how to communicate well is a key to dealing with any kind of conflicts, and it's also a necessity for preventing or resolving bullying situations. So I felt like, having this as part of our unit would be very beneficial for you. So before we get into the new material today, I just want to review what we discussed last week in regards to dealing with bullying in the 3 R's. Do you remember what the 3 R's stood for?
Yes, I do.
Do you mind sharing with me?
The 3 R's are recognize bullying behavior, refuse to be bullied, and report bullying behavior.
Perfect. So when we recognize bullying behavior, you're pretty much just asking yourself, is what you're seeing unfair to one of the parties, which is normally the victim. You look at, does one person more power than the other? Was this done on purpose to hurt someone, or has it happened more than once? When you mentioned refuse to be bullied, that's pretty much, is it safe for you to speak out assertively? So that's the skill you're gonna actually learn today, like how to be assertive and address a bullier. You also want to, ignore the behavior. You want to stay away from the person that's bullying, and you want to find a safer place to go to if you're in that type of situation. And when you're reporting bullying, that's obviously you're going to go tell an adult if someone's unsafe, so you get the situation addressed. Okay. So, getting into today's topic, have you ever heard of the words assertive, aggressive, or passive before?
Yes.
Do you mind sharing what you currently know about them? We're obviously going to get into it, and I'm going to explain them more, just to get a sense of where you're at with those 3 terms.
You want me to explain assertive, aggressive?
Or just what you think they mean, yeah. Like, what does it mean to be assertive, or aggressive, or passive?
Assertive means to take a stand for yourself. Being confident and being, not stern, but being, passionate about what you believe in a sense. Just trying to make your point.
Right.
And then aggressive is more like you're more aggressive towards what you believe in, kind of more like verbally rough, I guess, in a sense.
Gotcha. Okay, so the main topic that we're talking about is pretty much assertiveness, but I'm going to just give you examples of the other 2 and explain those just so you get a difference in how they're presented. So if you were to be put in a situation, you will kind of understand that, how you communicate each one of those will have a different meaning, even if you're saying the exact same thing. So being assertive is pretty much something that you're going to do on your own if someone tries to bully you. It's best for the times when it's the first time happening. That's when you want to assert yourself, so to prevent further, contact with that bully. You can use this idea when you're not being physically hurt, but if there is danger, you should still ask an adult for help, even if you're going to have an assertive stance. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you write 3 definitions down. I'm going to read them to you.
Okay.
So, assertive behavior can be defined as the ability to stand up for oneself, which is what you already said.
Wait. Okay.
You can take your time, right? It's okay. And express your feelings to this person. While respecting the rights of others as well. So you're going to notice every definition you're going to be provided with, you're going to notice that the end is always going to have to deal with people's rights and how the person's belief is. So assertive is obviously the best stance to take because not only are you, standing up for yourself, but you're also still respecting the other person, which is a big thing. The next one will be aggressive behavior.
Okay.
And this is pretty much when one seeks to meet their own goal, like what they want to achieve by harming or hurting somebody else to get to that goal or reach it. So in terms of rights in this type of behavior, the aggressive person will behave as if their rights are more important than the other person's.
Okay.
So you can already see how there's a difference. Whereas assertive is they're equal. This one, the aggressive person, which tends to be in most cases the bully, is going to feel that his or her rights are more important than the other, and that's why they'll have aggressive tendencies or be hurtful to get what they want.
Okay.
The last one is passive behavior.
Okay.
And this is pretty much when an individual allows another one to have more control over them, and their personal goals will not be met. So you'll kind of, this is kind of the people that, even if they want something, they're just going to kind of cave in. They're going to, maybe, you can even hear the term beating around the bush. But they're not directly stating what it is they want. Or, for example, say, you go out with a friend and you want to do one thing and she wants to do the other. Even though you really want to do something, you kind of just cave in because you don't want to fight with her. So you're being passive on what you want.
Okay.
And in terms of rights on this one, passive people feel that the other person's rights are more valuable than their own. So you can kind of see the differences among the three already. So now we're going to use these definitions. We're going to keep them on the sides because we're going to actually read 3 different scenarios exhibiting all 3 different types of behaviors. And we're just going to use those to see if we can identify them actually existing in the scenarios. So I'm going to give you this one. And then I'll have one too so we can read them together. So, would you like to read the first paragraph?
Yes.
So this one's aggressive behavior. So we're going to do aggressive behavior first.
Okay. Raymond and his friends are playing with the baseball at lunchtime. They're playing catch and practicing for the game on the weekend. Raymond sees Leon coming towards them. Raymond feels nervous because Leon is a bigger kid who often likes to bug the younger ones. Last week, Leon had been bothering a friend of Raymond's, taunting her until she cried. Raymond watches as Leon grabs her ball and starts to walk away.
So based on the situation, do you think that Leon's behavior is bullying?
Yes.
And why do you think that?
Because when a person is doing mean things repeatedly and scaring others, it's bullying behavior.
Perfect. So you can definitely tell that, Raymond is going to start exhibiting aggressive behavior because he grabs the ball. Like, that's an aggressive thing. So if I were to grab this and take it from you, that's me showing aggression. Do you want to read the next one?
Although Leon makes him feel nervous, Raymond also feels really angry. He is thinking, how could Leon just take someone else's ball and walk away with it? Raymond feels so mad he just wants to do something to get the ball back. Raymond thinks, I'm so angry I could yell at Leon and get my friends to push him down. Then I'll show him. Then I'll get the ball back.
So as you can see in this situation, he's getting angry. He's building up all this frustration. He's going to start yelling. Those are all signs of aggressive behavior, and that's communicating obviously what type of reaction to the other person. It's a negative one, right? So this type of behavior is pretty much used to scare. It's kind of like a scare tactic. They're trying to scare the other person to get them to do what they want. Like we said, the definition, to meet their goal. So that's why this behavior often works with bullies, because they often scare the victim into doing what they want, or just or being passive in general because they're just too afraid to be that assertive person.
Okay.
So in this situation, yelling and pushing is definitely an aggressive behavior.
Yes.
Raymond's angry thoughts that he's starting to have can also lead to an impulse. Can lead to an impulse to act aggressively, and as we know, this aggressive behavior can hurt people and doesn't solve problems, which is a lot of the things that we see with bullying.
Yeah.
So this is an example of aggressive behavior. So do you see how what we read in this story matches up with the definition?
Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to go on to the next one, which is passive behavior.
Okay.
All right. So you want to go ahead and read this one too? Okay.
Raymond had other feelings about Leon. He was also feeling nervous and scared. Raymond started to think about how mean Leon had been to his friend, taunting her until she cried. He started to think, Leon is bigger than me. He does mean things. I just want him to leave me alone and Never bother me again. I probably can't get the ball back anyway.
So in this situation versus the other one, how do you think Raymond is feeling as he thinks these thoughts?
He's scared and nervous and afraid of Leon hurting him or starting to bother him every day.
Exactly. So one of the key things with passive behavior is that often these scared and nervous feelings that they're feeling also lead to an impulse to do nothing, and that's the main thing with passive behavior. People just give up. They don't want to do anything. They're either scared or it's not worth the energy for them. Which is with the example I gave you with you and your friends. Say you were to go out, but you don't know where to go, and you each have your own ideas, and you just cave because you just don't want to fight with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So in this situation, Leon, he'll keep the ball, and he just hopes that, or Raymond will keep the ball and just hopes that Leon will leave him alone. So he does nothing about it. Saying what you need or want is a passive behavior, which is, he's not doing it. So then he's just being passive in the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if Raymond did nothing or was passive, what might you think? What might Leon think in the situation? If he acts this way, if he doesn't do anything?
That he could just take Raymond's things and that Raymond won't do anything.
Exactly. So Leon would probably think that he could do more things to bother Raymond because he won't do anything about it, and that's how bullying continues. Mm-hmm. If a bully sees that you're just not going to do anything about it, or you're just going to keep letting it happen, they're going to continue to do it unless they get bored, which that could happen too. So then, obviously in this situation, Leon would be more likely to bother Raymond again and again, which is kind of what I said. Mm-hmm. And that's why passive behavior doesn't work to stop someone from bothering you, because if you're not going to take that stance and stand up to them, they're just going to continue to do it. Mm-hmm. And in bullying situations, obviously, that's not a good thing either. So even if you feel an impulse to be passive, you can feel scared and think that you don't want to get the other person mad at you. You should still try to be assertive. You should definitely not be passive. I feel like passive and assertive are they're both not negative, but they're both not the best way to handle a situation, especially bullying. Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions about this one?
No.
All right, so let's go to the next one. So this one is the main topic already. This is assertive behavior. So before we read the scenario, I highlighted steps at the bottom and things to think about when trying to be assertive in situations. So for the steps for being assertive, you want to stand tall. All these physical things are going to show the bully that you're being serious.
Okay.
You want to look the person in the face directly. Mm-hmm. You want to use a clear and strong voice, like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
You're going to speak respectfully, too, because in assertiveness behavior, your rights are equally as important as theirs. So you're not trying to be controlling over them. Okay. You also want to say the person's name, like Erica. I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable.
Okay.
You also want to say what they're doing, like Leon. I'm trying to play this game. Please don't take the ball from me. Okay. You also want to tell them that you don't like it and tell them to stop.
Okay.
And when you're being assertive, you also want to remember to think about what you say, how you say it, your body language, and your facial expression, because you don't want to cross over to being passive or aggressive.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. You want to read the paragraph in this situation?
Right here?
Yep.
Okay. Raymond has another choice. He could control his angry impulses by telling himself to be calm, to stop and think. He could control his scared impulses to do nothing by thinking, I can do something. It's not fair for him to take my ball. He could be assertive. He could stand up for himself and say what he wants. Assertive behavior helps to solve problems and change things.
So for Raymond to be assertive in this situation, he would have to stand tall, look Leon straight in the face, and use a strong, clear voice. He'd also have to say his name, which is what we mentioned before, state his behavior, and then tell what he wants to happen. So he might say something like, Leon, you're stopping our game, give me the ball back now. Do you see how that's kind of not negative or mean? He's just addressing him and just kind of like saying, no, I don't want to do this, or please just give it back. Mm-hmm. So why this stuff is important is because acquiring these types of communication skills is going to help you personally deal independently with conflict. It's also going to help you state what you want or need in a positive manner rather than becoming aggressive and scaring other people. Mm-hmm. It'll also help you refuse to be bullied. So if you do get put in a situation where you are bullied or your friends are bullied, you will know how to effectively stand up and be an advocate for your friend or yourself. It'll also help you stand up for others, like I said, who are being bullied. Mm-hmm. So, do you have any questions about that one?
No.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take what we just learned and we're going to complete this worksheet on the back. At the bottom of the worksheet, there are sayings, or like speech things that Raymond and Leon could say to each other. What I'm going to have you do is you're going to go ahead and cut these out, and you're going to just put them in the appropriate boxes. So under either passive, assertive, or aggressive. And then when you're done, we're just going to discuss them to make sure you got them right and why they're right. Okay? And if you have any questions, I am here to help you. And there are 2 for each, in case you're wondering. So there are 2 for each one.
Okay.
Perfect. So let's go over them together. So, what did you have under passive? Which 2 and why?
Passive, I have Leon takes the ball. Raymond doesn't say anything because Raymond doesn't take action. He just lets Leon take the ball for no reason.
So, by just giving up and not doing anything about it, yes, he was exhibiting passive behavior. Perfect. How about the next one?
Raymond lets Leon keep the ball.
Perfect.
So, and this is because, once again, Raymond just lets him take the ball and doesn't speak out for himself.
Perfect. Exactly. I had the exact same 2. So you got that one perfectly down. How about aggressive? Which 2 did you put for that one?
Aggressive, I have Leon takes the ball and Raymond hits Leon.
Yep.
Because Raymond acts angry towards Leon when he takes the ball by punching him.
Perfect. It's a perfect explanation. Yes. So that physical contact, and like how we did it earlier with the example of me grabbing something from you, that physical contact is definitely an example of aggressive behavior. So perfect. How about the next one?
The next one I had, Raymond grabs hold of the ball and shouts, "Leave me alone."
Perfect.
Because he shouts and it kind of acts on it in an angry way.
Yes, and this one actually, I'm very proud of you for getting this because this one actually is a little tricky. Just because, he takes a stance and says, "Leave me alone," but another key word for the aggressive behavior is grabbing. It's showing another aggressive tendency or action. So perfect. How about the next 2 for assertive?
Raymond says, "Hey, we were playing with that. I want you to give the ball back now."
Perfect.
And because he asks in a somewhat nice way.
Yes, and he also saying what they're doing. So remember when we learned about the steps a few minutes ago. When you're assertive, you're gonna tell them what you want or what you need or what you're doing. So "Hey, we're playing with that" is telling Leon that, "Hey, this is what we're doing, and I want you to do it back now." So he's addressing what is he doing and what he wants and what he needs. So that's a key quality of assertive behavior. How about the last one? What did you put for the last one?
The last one I said, Raymond says, Leon, give me the ball back now.
Perfect. And that one be assertive how?
Because he states what he wants.
Perfect.
By asking him.
Perfect. Now, you did great on that. Now, I would just like, before we kind of close up and wrap up our lesson today, I just would like you to briefly explain to me one more time before we leave the differences between the three. So we have assertive behavior. I'm going to say that one more time. So assertive behavior is pretty much when you're taking a stance, you're speaking what your wants are, and you're telling the person without being afraid of them or being mean in nature. Do you have anything else you want to add just to on that?
For assertive behavior?
Yeah. Like how you take that home with you?
Well, obviously to stand up for yourself, and also by respecting the rights of others as well.
Perfect. How about aggressive? How is that one different again?
Aggressive is different because it's one person seeking to accomplish their own needs,
right,
but by hurting others.
Exactly. So with the rights, again, their rights are worth more than the other person. Perfect. And how about passive one more time?
Passive is someone who just lets someone walk all over them in a sense. So they have someone else take control of them instead of the person meeting their own needs.
Perfect. And can you give me or explain to me just briefly how you think these play a part in bullying? So obviously bullies mainly display aggressive behavior. So how do you think, moving forward, you can be assertive in approaching them? Like, what will you do to display that to them or to help others?
For bullying, if it's against myself, I would be assertive or show that behavior by standing up for myself, by asking politely and in a nice manner if they can just leave me alone or stop whatever they're doing. For someone else, I would do the same thing and try to stand up for them.
Perfect. So you want to remember too, when you're dealing with the bullies and you're going to be assertive, you want to make sure that you pay attention once again to your body language. You want to speak respectfully. You want to use a clear voice. You want to stand tall, because all that will communicate that you're being like you mean what you're saying, and you're not gonna and the bully will read off that. Other people can read off that body language and that behavior, and that will ultimately help to reduce or prevent bullying, which is what we're trying to accomplish through this unit. So I hope you got a sense of that and that this makes sense to you. That's the only in-class assignment I have for us to do today. But I would like you to take or do some homework for me for next time. This worksheet is called What Would You Say? And all you're going to do is you're going to write what you would say to be assertive. So I give you situations. Like for the first one, for example, it says, Tim calls you weird names every time you miss the ball. So like how I just asked you how you would be assertive in bullying situations, all you're simply going to do is just write assertive statements.
Okay.
Just so I can get a sense, of what you took away and if we need to work on anything else moving forward.
Okay.
But you did a really good job today, and we are going to continue on next week. And our end of the unit's coming up, where we're gonna eventually do an anti-bullying campaign and stuff like that, so you can actually create things and help spread the awareness of bullying.
Okay.
So I'll give you this, and then you can bring it next week.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take this, just so I can grade it and put it in your folder.
All right.
Do you have any questions before I let you go?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
You did good. All right, see you next time, Erica.
Yep.